Hey everybody, it is Mr. George, and this video looks at market research within the marketing function. So market research is really important, and it is the process of getting the marketing information or data needed to make sound business decisions. So it involves the gathering, the collecting, the recording, analyzing, and the presentation of data. Okay, and this can be done in lots of different ways here. Okay, lots of different ways to collect information. So you can use public information or you can use private information. Just like in previous videos, primary or secondary, think of primary as direct. You're getting it directly from a source. Secondary is indirect. You're getting it from some other place that got it from a third place. So primary tends to be more reliable, but again, it really depends on information that you are looking at. So let's look at some examples. If you were thinking over the last week, how many different companies or organizations have collected information about you? So especially it's getting easier and easier for companies to do this because they're just burying it during the terms and conditions when you're using certain websites or certain applications, web applications, whether it's email, whether it's social media. So cell phones, information is being collected from us all the time and is being used as ways of being able to reach us, as well as information is being sold to other places. So if you look at some basic examples, we have rebates, you can go online, being mailed to you, warranty cards, free stuff. These are all simple ways where companies have provided some incentives for us to provide our information. Okay. So if we had to look at a bunch of examples here, there are some I guess major ways that information can explicitly be harvested here. So a company could engage in personal interviews. Now, that's going to be pretty reliable information. It's going to be expensive and take a long time because you're interviewing one person at a time. When we start to look at, say focus groups, focus groups are larger. Whoops, sorry about that. Focus groups are larger groups of people who are meeting together, where they're asking some questions, getting some feedback. Tends to be expensive, but the certain people in a group might not talk. They might not be. They may be influenced by like other people. Direct mail is another way that the response rate tends to be very, very low, because most people look at that as just junk mail. When you are buying something at the store, especially if you're using like a rewards card, they're able to know all sorts of stuff about you. So if you have a rewards card at a grocery store and you use that card to get discounts, they know who you are. They know how frequently you come to the store. They know what you buy. They know what products you buy together. This information can all be used as far as like promoting products to you, through your phone, through flyers, circulations at the store. They can also reconfigure and design the layout of the stores as ways of trying to like generate more sales. Surveys, they could be paper, it could be online surveys where you can be eligible to receive, shopping spree, certain nominal amount, as well as lots of companies will ask you for, your name, create a user ID and a password, and then the website is free, but they're able to offer you these free websites because they're using it as a way of trying to sell your information, or they're launching advertising on the actual website. Other information that tends to be out there that's available. It's a lot of good information at public libraries. Certain government agencies collect information that's available, as well as specific trade associations that will help companies that are in, in a certain trade group. Say, for example, the Dairy Farmers of America collects information about milk consumption and about people's preferences about milk, and then that information can then get passed back to dairy farmers, where then they can make some different marketing decisions. These are not an all exhaustive list, but this provides a nice group where people are able to collect information. And again, a lot of it, as more people are online, you're really seeing that a lot of information is being harvested as far as like what you do, how frequently, where you buy stuff, how much you spend, how you feel about things. Everybody wants surveys after you buy something. They want to know how they did. They want some feedback. All that is market research. So if we look at this here, this just gives you kind of like a visual. The top part is primary data. Second part is secondary data. So this kind of gives you some information. I want to differentiate between qualitative and quantitative. Quantitative, think of that as numbers. Okay, it's metrics. It's numbers driven. Qualitative is non-metrics. It's how people feel about things, as far as like they're describing things, they're explaining things. So when we talk about qualitative and quantitative, they tend to fall in like two different camps that allows companies to be able to collect information. And overview of the entire market research function. It looks at a company or an organization or a government department and says, okay, here's our problem. We need to identify the problem. We need to figure out, okay, what are our objectives? Okay, as well as what methods are we going to use as a way of like collecting information. Then we have to actually collect the information, the data, and that typically is done through some type of like relational database system or database management information system, where the information is put in where it can be easily analyzed and interpreted. Okay, if somebody had 20,000 pieces of paper, that makes it very difficult to provide analysis having 20,000 pieces of paper. But when you have something stored in a database, it allows an organization to be able to like analyze that and hopefully recommend some solutions based on the problems that they started with this process. They then apply those results, and then as a result, they can create some evaluations on next steps. So if you had a company that was trying to sell paper towels and you're not sure why paper towels aren't selling, then you would need to collect some information from potential customers or from customers on what they're buying, why they're buying it, collect some data, do some analysis, and then recommend some solutions as far as maybe they need to change the price, or maybe they need to like move it to another aisle within a store, or maybe they need to like bundle that with like other products, or create a different product that's putting it in like a different volume. So you're not selling them individually, you're selling them in like much larger groups. And then as a result of implementing these solutions, you're able to evaluate to see whether or not you've been able to solve the problem that you had. So I hope you found that helpful as far as understanding what market research is, as well as why it is important to organizations. And a lot of this helps them create their target market. It helps them define and segment their market into different categories or niche based on the 4 general buckets that we looked at in the prior target market video, as far as demographics, psychographics, geographics, and consumer behaviors. Thanks for watching.